He is born. Well done, my lady.
You ever watch something so depressing it loops back around and becomes kinda peaceful? Yeah, that's Dororo. A show where a dude gets born without literally anything. No eyes, no skin, no voice, and still manages to have more personality than half the seasonal anime protagonists combined. This isn't your standard, "my village got burned, now I'm edgy" story. Nah, this is my soul got pawned to demons, and I'm still out here doing cardio with a sword for arms. And the craziest part? It's not even really about revenge. It's about what it costs to become human again. If Dororo dropped today, people would probably skip it because there's no waifu dancing in the opening. But back in 2019, this show said you want pain? You got it in 24 handcrafted servings. So yeah, let's talk about the most beautiful gut punch Japan ever animated. So here's the too long didn't pray version. Some samurai lord walks into a temple, looks at a bunch of demons, and says, "Hey, if I give you my newborn son's organs, can you make my rice fields grow?" And the demons, being the absolute business-savvy monsters they are, go, "Deal." Fast forward, baby gets born looking like a wet paper towel and gets tossed in the river. Except plot twist, he doesn't die. Some random prosthetics guy finds him, builds him like a medieval Gundam, and names him Hyakimaru, which roughly translates to, "I'm about to ruin every demon's whole career." And then there's Dororo, a tiny gremlin child who shows up like, "Yeah, I'm poor, angry, and morally flexible." Together, they go on a road trip where every episode feels like an emotional gut punch sponsored by depression and traditional Japanese folklore. And instead of cute adventures, it's 24 straight minutes of suffering.exe. Let's start with Hyakimaru. My guy's basically an allegory for what happens when your dad sells you on eBay before you're even born. He's quiet, detached, and his entire existence is just pain wrapped in vengeance. Every time he kills a demon, he gets a body part back, which sounds cool until you realize that also means he starts feeling things again. Pain, fear, loss, love. It's like the world is punishing him for being alive one organ at a time. But honestly, that's what makes him compelling. He's not just fighting demons, he's fighting the idea that humanity is worth the pain of being human. And Dororo? Dororo's the opposite. Loud, scrappy, constantly ready to pickpocket your soul. The dynamic between them? Perfect chaos. It's like watching a mute samurai team up with a feral child who learned morality from a raccoon. You know what's wild? Shows like Dororo remind you what anime used to be. No shiny high school setting, no smartphone gotcha game tie-in, just raw emotion, moral ambiguity, and enough trauma to fill a therapist's sweat dream journal. Meanwhile, every other studio is out here making 14 reincarnated as a vending machine shows per season. Like, bro, are we out of ideas? Mappa's out here animating suffering in 4K. Dororo didn't need fan service. It didn't need 12 filler episodes about beach days or festivals. It just gave us two broken people in a broken world trying to find a reason to live. And somehow that's rarer than finding an anime protagonist with both parents alive. But here's where Dororo really gets under your skin. It's not the monsters, not the blood, it's the humanity that sneaks in when no one's watching. When Hyakimaru finally hears the rain for the first time, it's like the world itself is apologizing for what it did to him. Moments like that remind you this show isn't just about revenge. It's about rediscovering what it means to feel alive, even when life's been nothing but pain. And trust me, it only gets darker, deeper, and more tragic from here. Because in Dororo, the closer you get to being human, the more it hurts to stay one. But Dororo still moves like it's got something to prove. The action? Clean, sharp, weighty. Every sword swing feels like it has consequence, which is insane when half the time the guy swinging can't even see. The use of color? Insanely good. Soft watercolor backgrounds 1 second, then full-on hellfire crimson the next. like the show's visually punishing you for looking too long. You can tell the team behind this cared. There's detail even in the shadows. You pause any frame and it looks like an ukiyo-e painting that's having an existential crisis. Compare that to half the seasonal garbage airing now, where everyone's faces look like they were drawn with a potato peeler. Dororo didn't just animate pain, it illustrated it. Every line, every scar, every muted tone. It all screams, yeah, this hurts, but it's beautiful.
Let's talk pacing, because holy hell, this anime understands balance. No filler beach episodes, no random school arcs, no 5 minutes of last week's recap. Every episode matters. The storytelling flows like a folktale told by someone who's seen too much. Messy, tragic, and occasionally missing teeth, but real. Some episodes are slow, sure, but that's the point. They breathe. They let you sit in the tragedy instead of fast-forwarding to the next demon decapitation. And that's rare. Most anime nowadays have pacing like a toddler on 5 Red Bulls. Dororo? Nah, it's confident enough to let silence do the talking. Sometimes the quiet hurts more than the blood.
The ending of Dororo doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't hand you a neatly wrapped happily ever after. It just sits you down, slaps you with moral ambiguity, and says, "Good luck processing that, champ." Yakimaru's journey comes full circle, and what's beautiful is how uncomfortable it feels. He gets everything he wanted, but at what cost? Because every victory in Dororo comes with a question. What part of yourself are you willing to lose to become whole? That's not just poetic, that's painfully real. You watch him finally understand what it means to live, love, and forgive, and it hurts because you've been on that road with him. And when the credits roll, it's quiet. No epic monologue, no fireworks, just peace. And somehow, that's the loudest ending imaginable.
The final verdict? Dororo is what happens when an anime decides it's too good for fan service and too smart for tropes. It's dark, heartfelt, and more human than half the emotional shows that cry every 15 minutes just for clout. The animation slaps, the storytelling hits, and the themes stick with you like emotional glue. If I had to rate it, easy 9.1 out of 10 prosthetic limbs restored. A certified dialed the fuck in experience. No skipping, no multitasking, no I'll watch this while doing laundry. Sit down, shut up, and feel it.
Anyway, that's it for today's therapy session disguised as an anime review. If you somehow made it this far without crying or Googling, does Dororo get a happy ending? Congrats, you're built different. But really, anime like this deserve more love. So if this video helped you remember what good storytelling actually feels like, hit that like button. Subscribe before I sell my organs to demons for better upload consistency. And tell me in the comments, if you had to trade one body part for power, which one's going first? Because me, I'm trading my sleep schedule. It's already gone anyway.